me while I do my money dance like, hey. Flexing on the gram like, hey. Hit the Lil Jon, okay. Oh yeah, we dripping and finesse and getting paid.
Ooh, don't we look good together? There's a reason why they watch all night long.
Welcome to another episode of Wine Talk Podcast. Today we have a special guest, but before we introduce her, you know all the usuals, our lovely
Jesus
and our gorgeous,
Naveen,
of course Daisy, don't forget about her, and our most honored guest,
Leslie!
Hi!
Hi, thank you so much for having me. I'm so
Absolutely.
honored.
So we
Welcome.
actually met Leslie, I want to say maybe almost 2 years ago.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that's crazy.
2 years?
Yeah,
Right?
2 years
Dios
ago.
Well, Daisy knew her before.
Getting old, girl.
Daisy knew her before I met her, and then before that, Veen met her, but they were sorority sisters.
Yeah,
sorority
Katie
sisters.
Kai.
Yeah, and then she started working for.
Come on, sister.
And then she started working with the same company that we work with, and then all of a sudden now we're like the four amigos. So, yes. But Daisy, what are we talking about today?
So, a little backstory to our actual topic.
Okay.
So this comes from a podcast that I was listening to. It's by I believe she's a psychologist, but her name is Martha, and she has her podcast on YouTube.
What's the name of it?
And we can put a link on it so
Okay,
that you
cool,
can
cool.
if you want to see the original podcast of where this is coming from. But she basically gave examples of abusive relationships in our lives, and that is more than just physical abuse, like emotional abuse, mental abuse, verbal abuse, and how sometimes we don't really see that relationship as abusive, but it prevents you from your potential. It prevents you from growing as a human being and from being who you are. So that can be relationships between you and a parent, between you and a coworker, between you and your boss, between you and your friend, between you and a sibling. And they talk about different ways that abuse takes place. And one of the big ones that stuck in my mind is she gave an example of a son who is always failing because they know that the mother always has their back, and they said, the mom doesn't see it as abuse because she sees it as love, like I got you.
But she's enabling him pretty much the whole time to be.
But she's enabling him to be a failure. And so sometimes that abuse has to be cut, and you have to say, go out into the world, be who you're supposed to be, and then that way they can grow and become full-grown adults. But the topic, so that's the backstory. So the topic of our podcast is, I thought she posed a question at the end of her podcast, and it was, who do you abuse and who abuses you?
Okay.
And I thought about that because there's a lot of relationships in my life that I'm unhappy with. But then I'm like, but then it's weird to think about you as an abuser, right?
Yeah.
But I'm sure that we all have that, and I thought that was a good, introspect to
I'm
explore
perfect.
today.
I don't abuse anybody. So.
I was gonna say, Daisy, you might be the only abuser here.
Just kidding. No, I like that though. I love the perspective about that way you can kind of realize that you're abusing that relationship or that person and either cut it out or make your relationship better. I like that. Do you have an example to get us started, Daisy, or?
Sure.
Okay. Let's let you talk again for the next 3 minutes.
So one of the most abusive relationships in my life, I think, is the one that I have with my father. And the reason for that is because he was raised in a certain era, where children did not really connect emotionally with their parents, and so he's trying to connect, but he's not really there, and he has a shitload of his own problems, so he can't give me the connections that I want, right, as an adult. The way he sees it is, if he needs something material or if he needs money, then he calls me and I provide, and then that's the extent of our relationship. And I would like our relationship to be a little more emotional and more in depth and call me out for my birthday, that kind of stuff. And he doesn't always do that, and so to me, it's always very emotionally draining every time I see him, every time I talk to him, and just the interactions that we have. And so that's why for me that's an abusive relationship. Not like he's being outright mean to me, but it abuses me because he asks and I provide and I don't always get what I pay for.
Yeah. Plus there's that
make sense?
emotional aspect that's kind of void in your life.
Yeah.
Because you guys aren't connecting on
Because
that
we're
level,
not connecting.
which is another form of abuse.
What about
I
vice
think.
versa? Who are you abusing?
Maybe we should go around and do one and then go back around and flip it. Yeah, so.
Okay. I want to hear from Leslie.
Why do you want to give all my secrets
Yeah.
away?
She was pulling out her list, guys. Don't worry.
She was unfolding it.
She said, "Oh, we're doing this now."
Oh wait, never mind. She's got a notepad over there.
Yeah.
So Leslie, who would you say abuses you in your life?
In my life, well, so I still do. I have a friend. Her name is Maggie. And she.
Hello, Maggie.
Hello, Maggie. Yeah, she'll never listen to this, so it's okay. she doesn't like podcasts, but she
Cool, Maggie.
yeah. So we've been friends since we were about 13. So she was like one of the first friends I had when we moved here to Utah, and here's the thing about her is that she can't like be comfortable if she's not in a relationship. She'll
Those
she
kind
can't
of girls.
so she can't
The daisies of the world.
no.
I'm just kidding.
But so I've basically been there since like her first boyfriend that she's had, and you know she's kept a boyfriend for as long as I can remember, and she always tells me, hey, so I have this guy. Oh, okay. Oh, hey, I have this new guy. I'm like, oh, okay. But see, it's funny because she'll only call me. She'll only talk to me to talk about that. She'll never be like, hey, so how's school?
you?
How's work? How's whatever? And, I'll be like, okay. So she's like, oh, yeah, what should I do now? And, oh, who do you think? Oh, man, look at this guy or whatever. And so I feel like...
So it's never like about you then.
No, it's never about me. And never.
I'm not that selfish.
Maybe, occasionally she'll be like, oh, how was your day? And I'll tell her, oh, that's awesome. Okay, by the way, so like I was telling you like this guy, whatever.
Oh my god.
And so I feel like she just, takes
She's
like, I don't know, she's like abusing our friendship a little bit, you know?
Yeah.
Oh, that's completely
Using
abusing
you
a
for
relationship.
convenience.
Yeah, for convenience.
Yeah.
And sometimes I am like, well, I really thought she would be like a friend forever, and now she'll just call me just to be like, oh, I'm with my boyfriend, or I'm with this guy now, and and it's a little sad because I'm always there because I feel bad because she doesn't really have a lot of
What,
good
does she
friends.
also call you when the breakup happens?
Oh,
and
yeah,
it has to-
always.
Okay.
Oh, I've been through those. I've
Hannah.
been through those midnight calls randomly in the night when she's bawling and.
Yeah, but do you think she would do the same for you?
I mean, she'd be like, yeah.
Oh,
I'm
but
so
then it'd
sorry."
come right back to
But
her.
then it'd come right back to her.
I know your heart's broken, but let me tell you about this new
Yeah,
guy.
but so
But there's love in the world. Let me
Yeah,
tell you my story.
I mean, yeah, exactly. No, yeah, and it makes me sad because I really do like, I love her. She's a really.
Oh, heck yeah.
Yeah,
It's not a two-way street, though.
I know.
Okay.
Clearly, yeah.
Have
so
you
I'm
tried
like-
talking to her about it?
I mean, I think she kind of knows. She'll apologize, be like, "Oh, I'm sorry, I'm talking so much,
Yeah.
but I just need to get this off my shoulders." And she's
You're a
sorry.
therapist.
That's
Or pay me.
Well, become a Catholic. You can go over there and confess. Like,
Yeah,
it's all good.
and like she was going to actually see a therapist. No, she was. She was going to see a therapist.
Oh, good.
But then
good.
she.
I'm totally about therapy.
Yeah,
Yes.
but then she stopped.
Help yourself.
She stopped, and so she's
Oh,
the
no.
one. I've told Jesus about her a few times, but she was the one who actually got married a couple years ago, and got divorced. Yeah,
Yes, okay.
and got
I know about
divorced,
her.
and then so she hasn't gone. Well, she actually hasn't gone divorced yet, but they're like split up right now. But she's already wanting to get married with this new guy that she's with right now, and I'm like, but dude, you haven't even.
Are you guys the same age?
Yeah.
Okay.
Oh
I
my
think there's a lot of
God.
growing to do though still.
Yeah.
Because you're
That's
still
so
very
young
young.
for two marriages
Yeah.
though.
Yeah, 20.
Yeah.
Everybody
Is it
has
okay
their
to say
own
how old
thing
you are?
though.
Yeah, I'm gonna turn 21 in April.
So she's not even 20. That and would be like two marriages
Yeah.
before
Yeah,
the
but
age
if
of
you
20.
think about it, we live here, and marriage is pushed onto people so quickly that you can't even figure your own life out.
Yeah.
Like if you think about it, 20.
But,
Hey, 19.
one marriage, but two.
Yeah.
One
This is Utah though.
one
girl.
is Utah, but like two marriages before 20. That's like unheard of.
I just think it's a lot of
I
growing
mean, when did
to
you
do,
start
though.
marrying? When you were 17?
Yeah. Yeah, and she could use some maturity.
Yeah.
Like she could use.
But I think it'll come definitely with her growing up and everything.
Yeah.
Apparently,
I
I'm
hope
hoping
that
she
she
one of this
I agree.
group.
Baby's
Yeah,
over there
I hope
throwing
so.
shade. I think so.
I just hopefully she can kind of
Because
just
I
grow
was a
out of it.
hot mess at 20 too. I was a hot mess. Like,
Well, yeah, but like, I guess like those kind of people just naturally annoy me because I'm like, I feel that you can't really know who you are unless you spend time with you,
Yeah.
right? Because that's how you find out other people are.
Oh,
Yeah,
no, that's
and
true,
there's
completely.
been numerous occasions she's like, okay, like for real, like I'm really gonna be single right now and I'm just gonna focus on me and whatever. And then literally the next day she'll be like, so I was on Tinder and I was talking to this guy. I'm like, dude, really? Walk into the promise. But yeah, so I think
So you think
she's
she
the one
abuses
who abuses our friendship for sure.
Oh dang.
Yeah.
What about you, Jesus?
Oh, with me, I'm gonna give actually like the person that I feel like abused me, and then the person that I feel I'm abusing now. But well, mine tied together, so you'll hear. So I
He's
feel like
always breaking the rules
He's
of the
Always
podcast.
messing up our podcast. We
Tenemos un flow.
why you ruined this?
no rules were meant to
I
be
think
broken.
we're gonna.
Okay?
I don't think Leslie's just gonna be a guest anymore. You're gonna be the guest.
I'm gonna be permanent.
Permanent
She follows
co-host.
the rule.
Permanent co-host.
We're gonna lose viewers if that's the case.
So Leslie's, if you don't know, her abuser also
Oh,
is Jesus.
it's also Jesus. Yep, he sure is. All the time at work.
Let's hear it.
With me, I think my parents were the abusers. Not in a physical way. They never put their hands on me. Not in a mental way, like they were never like, you're fat, you're ugly, you're a disgrace, anything like that. But in the sense that they let me get away with so much.
Oh, so you're that guy from the example. Oh, okay.
Okay, just
Well,
ready.
that makes sense.
Pretty much. No, it's true though. I feel like I got almost everything handed to me. Is the way that I like to that I almost like to see it. Where I feel like, and I think it's something that my mom actually realized at when I was getting older. She was like, I really did. Like, your dad and I gave you everything that you could have asked for. Anything that you wanted, everything that you needed, it was always at the palm of your hands. And that prevented me from seeing the big picture. From being like, oh, I need, like, I need to work for money. Like, I need, like I'm supposed to buy my own groceries. Yeah. I'm supposed to buy my own stuff, that sort of thing. Because I was, like I said, I was so sheltered. I was so taken care of. My mom always used to say, she was like, my kids are my pride. If I could keep you guys in a bubble, like that, like just protect you guys, that would
God
be perfect.
damn, I'd be buying my own Hot Pockets since I was like 12. Shit.
I think, and I know
But
that.
that's a good, I guess it's a good abuse, but not
No, I know, and I
really,
think
guess,
it more came
right?
from that. I mean, I know that a lot of our families
A
came
certain
over
part of
here
that,
Yeah.
and were like,
Yeah.
I want to give my kids the most that I can, and especially I think of Jesus's mom, because she was never really able to have a good healthy pregnancy. She didn't even know if her kids were going to be able to live, a lot of that, and so she was so prideful that she was able to have her kids, and that she wanted to give them everything that she could, because
And that's good.
I know,
as a
it is
mother,
good,
You should,
Yeah.
but I think he's saying it's taking it to more of an extent where she never really, or both of your parents
Mm-hmm.
never really were like, pay bills, or I don't know. Is that?
It was more of the sense where it was like, like I wasn't able, I didn't make the mistakes that I feel like maybe I should have made to help me grow and mature a little bit faster. And so with that, now I feel that I am the one abusing my little sister. Because my mom passed away, and my dad is going through a lot of stuff right now. and I'm the one taking care of my little sister, and it's something that like with Davin I've been having to deal with a lot, because the same way that nurturing, loving somebody so much that you really just want to protect them and don't ever want to have them on your bad side is the same way that I'm treating my little sister now. Even though she's making mistakes, even though she may not be doing things that I like I said, not anything harmful or anything that she shouldn't be doing, like, oh my gosh, do that, like, whoa, but it's just like those little things where I feel like I'm not letting her make her mistakes, and I'm also almost feel like I'm enabling them. It's kind of like she's getting bad grades and I'm not punishing her for it, or if she would ever sneak out, I feel like I'd be like, hey, just don't do it again, as opposed to putting that and being like, no, like, this has a consequence and we're gonna fix it. And so I feel like it's the same way, and I'm having that trouble now because I was treated that way. Now I see it. Now I see the big picture. Now I'm an adult. Now I'm mature, and it's just and now that I have my little sister to take care of, especially because I don't have kids or anything like that, now that I'm having to be responsible with her, it's just a little bit hard to kind of put my foot down, because I never got my foot put down on me, if that makes any sense. So
but like you guys remember like those like National Geographic specials that are like going extinct? Thanks, President Trump.
For real though.
Do you remember? But there was I remember there was one that I watched when I was in middle school, and there was like these little turtles, and they like hatch from the sand or whatever the fuck, and they're supposed to make it to the ocean.
Right.
But like there was like a story, right, that you're like this little kid wanted to help the turtle because it was like struggling to get to the fucking sand, and so he wanted to like lift her and put her in the water. But they encourage the people who go out to see the hatchings not to do that, because the struggling through the sand enables their fins to straighten so that they can make the trip of the ocean from the one area to where like where they're going or whatever the fuck, and then come back to breed. So if you help them, I'm sorry, this is like a very vague memory, but if you get the idea.
Just the reason why I giggled over here. The reason why I started laughing is because I can just see, like, I can just hear, like, on fucking History Channel, like, and now the turtle is making its way to the beach and going wherever the fuck it's supposed to go.
Well, like, I can't remember. It was like it goes to the ocean and it travels like the ocean, like it's like the other side of the world, and then it comes back to this beach and breeds at this beach. I don't know what turtles do.
I knew what you meant. I just that's what I just heard in my, like, just imagine like Morgan Freeman does most of those, like, wherever the fuck.
It would be an explicit narration.
Oh my gosh, Daisy just drinking a glass of wine. Like, wait, where the fuck is that turtle going? What's happening on that beach, though?
Anyway,
let's get back on the road.
So you're not supposed to help the fucking turtle because then it like dies.
long story short.
Oh my god,
But like you would see these little turtles, and it was so sad because some of them would like get stuck on the sand, and maybe that's what you're having.
Yeah,
Your sister's the turtle in you.
And I'm just like, here, let me take you to
Well, even you think like the birds all up in Mother Nature. Remember we were watching one, and there's like these birds that are on this high ass mountain, and they just kick their babies off the mountain, and they're like, you gotta fly or else you die.
Their wings.
Yeah.
I've actually seen that too before. I watched a lot of National
That makes a lot of sense,
Yeah.
though. Yeah, you kind of just gotta make your own mistakes, and that's the way you learn through life.
It's hard, right?
Oh,
and that's the
for
whole
sure.
point. That's why we're imperfect and we learn. And that's why there's some people who are better at adulting than us. you see those like 16-year-olds and they all like they have everything fucking figured out, and you're like, shit,
my gosh.
27, I'm barely paid my first mortgage. Yes.
Yeah.
So since Jesus did like his whole abuse, then I guess we'll just start the circle back around. So I'll just do mine the same way that he did.
Okay.
Yeah, and then we'll just go the opposite way around.
Yeah, ves, I'm not a follower, I'm a leader.
I'm not. You ruined the rules, so I had to.
He's an innovator.
Yeah.
Thank you, Babby.
Of course, I got us back on track. You know me, always the one to get the podcast going again.
Oh my gosh.
So mine both tie together as well. I was always in very abusive friendships with the way that I would always give so much of myself to people. I would stay on the phone for hours and listen to their thing, kind of like with your friend. I would always go out of my way to make people feel good, even in my relationships, romantic relationships, whatever. I would always give so much of myself and never get anything back in return with a lot of my friends. Even when I was in high school, I remember I would like stay after for hours speaking to friends that were kind of like feeling low, or just like even family and stuff. And I just put up with that for so long, and so I think it's reversed me to be the abuser to my friends now, where I don't put in the emotional. I mean, I feel like with you two, because I think we see each other so much, it's much easier. But like, I have friends that'll now text me and be like, "Hey, I miss you. I want to hang out with you," and I'm like, "I miss you too. Let's hang out." And then I never get back to it. And so I know, and I'm the abuser now, like, because I know that I don't have very many. I probably only really have one who actually continues to reach out to me. And she's always like, I love you, I want to see you, I want to see you. And I'm always like, I love you too. And my intentions really are there to be good, but I don't put forth the effort to be that good friend for my friends now. So, yeah, that's just how I am. I'm the abuser with my friends like that.
I think it's hard. I think once I think about it too, I feel that I'm actually the same way. I don't have a lot of friends, I don't have a handful. I have those specific friends. I would honestly say that from high school, I have some pretty good friendships, and it's the same way. I don't reach out to them as much as I feel that I should.
But I don't feel like that's necessarily abusing, because there's really no relationship to abuse.
Well, no.
Because like they're just texting you to hang out. In her case, like she's responding, right? And the other girl's talking her ear off, like she's
See, but I mean,
that
my
connection.
friend that I was talking about, she comes and like will see me when I'm working at the coffee shop. She'll come over and she'll actually take the time to go out of her way, and she'll be like, I know I'm not gonna see you any other time, so I'm gonna come see you while you're at work. So she's putting forth that effort to come see me, and I'm not doing it the same back in reverse.
Gotcha.
Or even like with Jesus, a lot of emotional walls are closed, and I abuse our relationship because he's like, just talk to me. I'm like, no, I don't want to. My walls go right up, and then I've been hurt in the past, so I'm not going to. I mean, it's gotten better, obviously, because we've been together for 4 years now, but it's taken time, and I have definitely abused our relationship in the very beginning because of the way that I was hurt before. Yeah.
Now you, Leslie, tell us about your abuse to others.
Well,
It's a hard one to think about, but
It's hard, right?
It's hard because I'm trying to, this whole time while y'all have been talking, I'm like, well, who have I been abusing? Because I think I'm the one who takes it more than they give it.
And that is true, because Leslie is a very
So maybe you're
good
abusing
and
you.
awesome. Ooh.
Oh my God! You know what?
Revelation.
That is a good one. You know what? No, yes, you're right.
I agree.
Because I feel like for a very long time, I feel kind of like how Jesus was saying, very sheltered by my parents, and so in turn, like in the
There's a lot
past,
of good parents around here.
well, no, because like,
She's like, I'm
because
learning.
I haven't given myself, or I haven't like allowed myself to have as much fun as I wanted to in high school, or even like these past 2 years that I've been in college. I've just been, it's 9:00. Yeah, I should go home. I don't want to get in trouble. And I'm almost 21, so I shouldn't. People are like, oh yeah, let's hang out till 12. I'm like, oh, that's really late. I should probably not go.
She's like, my bedtime's 9.
Yeah. So I think I'm the one who's been,
I would agree with that, and I think you are so there for people that I wonder.
Yeah.
Like, I don't know because I don't see you every day, but I feel like you're so there for so many people. I wonder how much time you are there for yourself, and actually give yourself that time to heal, or to just do a me day. You know what I mean?
Yeah. No, and that's why that was a good point, because it's true. I mean, I don't really. I care a lot about my friends, about my family, and so, hey, Leslie, can you do this for me? Yeah, like I'll because I.
And that's good. I mean, don't get me
Oh,
wrong.
yeah,
I'm
don't
not
lose
trying
that
to
quality.
be like,
No,
you
lose
should
that
be
quality.
selfish.
No, I'm not gonna be
I'm
like a
not-
bitch, just do a 180. I'm like,
trying to
okay,
turn
Like, after this podcast, screw you guys.
screw you guys
Don't
out.
call me.
No, I mean, and I don't want to lose that quality. quality, but I mean, I do want to kind of open up a little bit more. That's why, you know, like since I found a friendship in you guys, I feel like, you know, you guys like really like, I want to say make me a rebel, you know.
Actually, that took a complete. I thought she was gonna say, since I met you guys, I've been able to open up more. She's like, since I met you guys, I do more bad things.
We're the bad influence.
No, it's porque like we're sitting there with our dark hoods on, face covered in the dark, like Leslie.
No.
There's candy here.
Heroin. Just kidding. I'm just kidding. Drug-free podcast.
No, but.
Well, some of us. Just kidding.
For those of you listening to our podcast for the first time, no, we are not drug addicts.
Say no to drugs. Drugs are bad.
At least the hard drugs.
Yeah, aspirin's okay.
Any over-the-counter
And plenty of wine.
Oh my god. But yeah.
Combined though.
No. Do not. Stomach bleeding.
No one's trying to die here, sister. No one's trying to die
You're
here.
gonna get freaking sued. Actually, I heard it in wine talks that you could.
Like you could drink.
We are not doctors, and this is for entertainment purposes only.
Do not try this at home.
But yeah, like, you know,
yeah.
like since, you know, I've decided, especially more this year, to be more open and not to be so like scared to hang out longer, or be like, you know, be with friends and stuff like that. So I think
I like that.
that's what I'm gonna do.
Now you, Miss Daichi.
Now let's hear from the biggest abuser in the group.
I know. Handsome.
Let's all tell our personal stories about what she's done to us. No, start just kidding.
It's like, oh no.
Yeah.
I feel like this would be a big one.
I know.
I don't know. I feel like there's a lot of people in my life.
So she did pull out
I
her
better take
list.
out that list again. Let's see.
I've abused it periodically.
It's your
I feel
turn.
like we all have though.
You know, I think my sister, because I'd always call her, like, no matter, like, if even, like, I showed up for class and I didn't have a fucking pencil, I'd be like, sister, I know you're in Mexico, pero perdí mi lápiz, like, what can you help me with? And then she'd be like, go to the bookstore. I'd be like, oh, yeah. Like, you know, so for every little thing, I'd always call her, I'd always be demanding her attention, and she has 3 kids, so, I mean, that was really hard, you know. And it took me a while to really understand that she really didn't have the same time for me that she did before she had her 3 kids.
Yeah.
And then I think throughout my life, I've always, since I'm the youngest, and I've always been kind of petite. Like, people always look at me and they're like, oh, like people just help me. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
Like, I don't ask for help. Like, they just help me.
Yeah.
And I could be like, no, I'm strong enough, I can do it on my own. But I'm like, sure. You want to put this ice bucket on top? That's great. You know, so I think I abuse that aspect of my life a lot. And the most recent people I've been abusing, I think it's you guys.
I don't
Really?
think
Oh,
so
really?
at all.
We were totally just kidding, by the way. We didn't.
No,
I
I
don't
was
see
just
that at
thinking
all.
about
I
that.
want to hear this though.
Yeah.
I
Wait.
do too. In
Yeah.
what way?
Especially like the bean, I think lately, like a lot.
How?
Or like I feel sad, or like I have depression. I know, shocking, right? But I
Which
do
is
have
also
depression.
not a joke. It's
Not a joke. I
yes,
really do
you
have
get- yes.
depression. But if I throw it, what?
Yes.
But I think I've texted you and because I feel like you make me feel good.
Yeah.
So whenever I feel bad, I'm like, hey, Levine, how's your day? Kind of like
No,
what
but
your
that's a
friend
good
did, you know?
thing.
And you'd be like, oh, it's great. And I'm like, oh, it's great for me too. Guess what happened to me? You know?
No,
or
but
like,
that's it's good though, because remember that day when I Snapchatted you, because I was just I even Snapchatted Leslie too, but
There's actually
you and
even-
I stood up till like 1 o'clock in the morning.
There was
just Snapchatting
one
each
time,
other.
and this is the first time I'll admit it, but there was one time when Davin was actually feeling really down, and he wasn't talking to me, and I don't know if you remember, Daisy, but I texted you, and I asked you specifically, I said, Davin is feeling really down, would you mind texting him? And she said, I'm on it. And she texted him, and you texted her, and it's funny because when I saw Davin, she said, guess who randomly texted me today? And I was like, oh, who? And he was like, Daisy. And I was like, oh, great. But I don't see that as
Yeah, there's
abuse
no abuse
either.
in there. There's
Especially,
no abuse.
especially because I feel like in those tight friendships, that's what you need. You know what I mean?
In such tight, exactly. but you know, since we're all so close to each other, even if we just text each other or like for a, hey, like how are you? I don't see that as like a form.
I think it'd be different, like you said, kind of like Leslie's example, where
if
it was like if the only time that you ever hit him up was like
to complain or
to complain or
the reason I feel like I'm abusing it is because like you guys always say like really good things about me, and I've noticed ever since I started hanging out with you guys, really, I've noticed that you guys always have something really good to say about people, and I don't ever say anything good about people. Like I don't know what we were doing the other day, but Davin texted me, and he was like, "Oh, you look gorgeous in that picture," and I'm like, like, unless we were, like, at your wedding or, like, you had, like, a new jacket that I hadn't seen, I don't usually say, oh, you look gorgeous today. Even if I think about it, you know? Like, even if I'm like, oh, like, Leslie's, like, makeup is on point today. Like, I don't say it. Like, it doesn't come natural to me. But every time I hang out with you guys, you always say something good about somebody.
I feel like that's within our personalities, though.
Yeah.
It has to be within someone's personality.
Yeah,
because
if it's not within your personality, then it's not a bad thing. Because it's not like you're over there being like, you're ugly, you're fat.
Right, exactly. It's not like you're turning it around, like you're going up to somebody like, wow, that looks fucking disgusting. Like, oh my gosh, you look gross today. Anything like that.
He's looking right at me, just kidding.
I think it's, especially because I feel like that means right in that aspect. Like, before I had officially come out, I was very closed off, you know? Whereas, like, now I'm just like, girl, you look flawless. Like, I woke up like this, you know? And it's a personality thing, you know what I mean? Like, and that might not be you, but I don't think you need to take it personal to the point where, like, oh, I do this. Because there's a lot of things that you do that I feel like we don't. You get ready more often than I do. You know what I mean? And there's times where, like, I constantly see you and Leslie, and I'm just like, gosh, like, they do their hair, they do their makeup, they are dressed to the max.
We're in our pajamas.
We're in our pajamas right now with no makeup.
And still gorgeous.
In a bun.
And it's just like, and it could be one of those things where I could turn around and be like, maybe I need to put more effort. But I'm just like, I didn't want to get ready today, you know? But I don't put myself down for that reason. I don't feel like you should put yourself down for that too. And it could be like maybe something that you need to work on, you know what I mean? It's just spreading that positivity.
Only if you feel like you want to, though.
Yeah,
you don't have to. Like you're...
But I feel like that does really well for me, right? Like on top of like just we have fun and everything, it makes me want to hang out with you guys even more because I'm like it's a safe environment. It's not somewhere where I'm being put down. It's like
lift it up.
I guess I feel like I'm abusing that relationship because I want to be with you guys more and more because it makes me feel good. Does that make sense?
That's what your friendship should be.
Yeah.
That's why I love hanging out.
That's why we're the flossy posse.
If you have not seen Girls Trip, watch Girls Trip.
It's hilarious.
Who was so that mean is Dina.
Hey, it's chlamydia, y'all.
That can get fixed, she said.
That can be big.
No, but really though, if you haven't watched it, watch Girls Trip. It is freaking
it
hilarious.
Is yeah.
But yeah, no, I don't think
you should take away friendship. You should walk away from hanging out every time feeling better about yourself.
That is true. I agree with that. Whether you've seen that person, I have friends. For example, my friend Ingrid, and my friend Neha from high school. They are like two friends who I can literally go 6 months, 3 months, a year without seeing them, without talking to them. But the moment that I hang out with them again, it's like we had just seen each other the day before. And it's just like we never left off. It's never awkward. It's never, so, you know, we're not fighting for a conversation. It's just so natural, and it's just so, oh my god, okay, I want to hear all about your life, and you have those moments, you know? And like even our friend Jasmine too, she lives out in Vegas now, and before we used to like almost see her every single week, and now, you know, living in another state, we see her maybe, you know, 4 or 5 times a year, and it's the exact same thing, you know? It's just, we meet up with her, and it's just like nothing has ever happened. And I had all 3 of them be my bridesmaids for our wedding recently, and like I said, I asked them, and Neha lives in California, Jasmine lives in Vegas, Ingrid lives here, and all 3 of them without hesitation were just like, yeah, like, fuck yeah, like, I'm gonna be there and I'm gonna make the effort. And I was like, yeah, if you need help, booking the flight, like, I can help you with the flights. And they were like, oh gosh, no, like, don't worry, like, this is your special day, like, I'm honored that you asked me. And it's just those things, and I agree with that. I mean, every single time that you meet with somebody that you truly love, you have to go off. And it's just those little things too. I sometimes, like, learn so much from you guys as well. Little quirky things, little things that I'm just like, oh my gosh, I want to be more like Leslie in this aspect. I want to be more like Daisy in this aspect.
Plus, I think our relationship, us four, has gotten so close that we can call each other out when we don't, especially because four of us learn how to count. I mean, all four of us
literally
are
counted 1, 2, 3, 4.
all four of us are just so honest, where it's like, I can see Leslie and be like, you got bitch face on, what's wrong with you?
Yeah.
Or like even Daisy, I can tell when you're sad. Or Leslie sometimes calls me down and she's like, something's wrong with you.
I've gotten to that point where I can tell. I'm like, whoa, what's happening?
And it just happens with all of us. And
so, who made you like this?
And that's what I like about our friendship, because if something really is wrong, it gets brought to the forefront and we take care of it. So there's no abuse from you at all, I don't feel, at least.
I don't think so either.
No, and I think you need to feel that, because I feel like that also feeling like I think that if you feel like you're abusing someone, it almost kind of makes you step away from that person a little bit. So I would hate for you to at some point be like, I'm depressed, but I don't want to bother Leslie or
text
Naveen or
text
Jesus.
me, girl, call me. I'll take you out to frozen yogurt.
I'll take you out to Sephora.
I'll take you out for some wine. Now what, Leslie? She's trying to one-up me. I'll take you out to Sephora and wine.
I'll take you out to Sephora, Ulta, and wine.
I'll buy you a bottle of tequila.
I'll just take you to Europe.
Oh shit. You ain't coming back? No.
Oh my god.
No, but really though, we have so much fun. But advice for the week. What is your advice for the week?
Leslie. Oh wait, Leslie listens. She's actually like our main listener. And so you already know the drill, but you can go last if you got to think about it.
Okay.
So we'll have Daisy go first since she's running the thing.
My advice for the week is thank the people in your life. I've been running with this whole idea of like that there's like small heroes in our lives and that make differences, and they don't always know that. Like they don't always know like what impact you make or they make in your life. So even if it's like something stupid, like let it be known, I'm really thankful you lent me that sweater that one day I was really cold, or whatever it may be, or like, if you go to the store and they give you an extra lot and you're supposed to get the little one, whatever, be like, thank you, like I really needed that extra coffee today, or whatever, I feel that sometimes the little things that we do for other people are not really recognized. And I had a person where I work come in and say, like I came in the other day and you helped me out, and like you were looking for different options, and I know it must have been like just a part of your day, but just the fact that you took the time to help me out, like it really made a difference in my day. And I was like, oh, like I didn't really think about it, because she was right, like it was just part of my day, and it's kind of what I do for my job, like 8:30 to 6:30 every day, all day. But just to see that it really had made that impact in her, I was like, oh, it like made me thankful.
Yeah,
I do,
That's nice.
You feel like that Wonder Woman.
I feel like thank you so much.
My advice for the week would be to not be passive aggressive. And I'm gonna take that advice.
I the shade.
So you're not gonna post shit on Facebook?
No, I'm not posting on Facebook.
Oh god.
No, I feel like I'm actually a very passive aggressive person to begin with.
Sorry, that was a very passive aggressive. Okay.
I feel like I'm like that. Actually, I feel like I don't confront people whenever I'm upset or anything like that. I just kind of like throw hints.
Same.
But I feel like it's very important, especially because I feel like if you're having any sort of conflict or confrontation with somebody, it's better to get it just taken care of than be dodging around and everything like that.
That should be our next podcast. How do you throw shade?
Oh, we did that one, remember?
Oh, did we?
And I swore hella bad on that episode.
Oh, that's
I apologize to everybody.
Oh my gosh, yes we did.
I was a little bit tipsy that
bad.
episode, and my mouth was going.
I found it hilarious.
Self comes out.
I find that hilarious, so it's all good.
So yes, don't be passive aggressive. Whatever you are having a problem with, fix it.
Yeah, you could be accurate without being aggressive. Just know that you can express yourself without being the aggressive part. Yeah, get your shit together and just like spill it out. Use I statements.
Not we.
I feel.
My advice is don't ever be afraid to step back and reevaluate the situation in your life, because as probably people who listen know, I was in such a bad place with my work situation last year, and I was just so depressed about it. And I had like a breakdown and called in for a week. And
that was lovely.
I really stepped back and evaluated it in this new year, and I saw the things that I was thankful for that my job offers me, or that I like, the things I like about my job. And ever since I've done that, I like going into work. It's not my favorite thing to do, and I don't know if I want to do it for the rest of my life. But because I stood back, reevaluated my situation, and saw the good things about it, now going into work, and my days even are so much brighter, and I feel so much happier than I was before. So, yeah, just...
That's how you look at it?
Yeah.
Close it up, Leslie.
And if you do reevaluate it...
Never mind. Never mind.
Just kidding.
If you do reevaluate it and find yourself in the same situation, then you obviously know that it's time to give up on that part of your life, or that.
Know when to say
Yeah.
goodbye.
Yeah.
Amen. Well, my advice for the week, I guess, it's to just, I don't know, do more things for yourself. That's what I've been trying to do is, I'll just, take a day and just be like, well, sometimes I'll just ignore my friends' phone calls and be like, oh, I don't want to deal with your crap right now, so I'm just gonna not answer.
Yeah.
Now we know I shouldn't answer.
Oh, shut up! Y'all never answer me! No, except for Daisy. No, I'm just kidding.
But
I like that, though.
sometimes you have
Get
to
off
be
the
fierce.
grid.
No,
Get off
yeah,
the grid.
sometimes
And
you
say
have to.
no because of you.
Well,
Yeah.
even today, I was like, what did you do today? And you're like, I just did me. I watched TV and I just chilled.
Yeah,
That's what you need.
that's so. Don't be afraid of just, if you need a day to yourself and not talk to anybody, then do it. I mean,
Yeah.
everyone
I like
everyone
asking
needs
lots.
one of those days.
Nick was like, yesterday, we woke up at like 3. Legitly, like 3 p.m.
PM.
Yeah, p.m. My husband and I both. Not just me, not just him, but
Yeah.
both of us
Yeah.
woke up at 3 p.m.
wow.
I know, right? And my husband is one of those people that wake up at like 8 in the morning and he like
too.
just gets going, and it's
Yeah.
like that's how he likes his day. I'm like, let me sleep as much as
Yeah.
I can. And he woke up and he was in the grumpiest mood the whole day. Sorry, babe. But then
Was
I
it
asked
because it
him,
was wasted?
yeah, and I asked him, I was like, hey, like, what's wrong with you? Like, you've been so mean to me the whole day. Like, and he's like, but my whole day is wasted. And I was like, well, obviously not. If you didn't wake up until 3 p.m., your body needed that rest.
Yeah.
So sometimes, like, don't think, it's really like what you just said, how you look at it. You could think that it's wasted, but does you no good. Or you could think, man, I really needed that sleep in, and it was like, feel great.
That's
Until
considered
tomorrow,
my
it's
day
gonna
when I
be
started.
whoop.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
Cool.
I agree.
So,
Our podcast is long this week, but it was because we have 4 people,
Yes.
and I like it though, because I feel like we
Love
got
Leslie.
perspectives from everyone.
it's all her
Yeah.
fault.
Plus, Leslie's a
my fault.
blabber.
Anyway.
So.
Oh, whatever.
I know, she talked the least. Last week, I don't know if you noticed, I did not talk at all.
I know. What were you trying to practice?
I don't know.
Some self-restraint. Anyways, thank you again for listening to another episode of Wine Talk Podcast. We cannot wait to see you next week.
Yes.
We'll be back to our down to 3, but thank you so much for joining
And
us.
please
last
come
Thank you
back
for having
whenever.
me.
Come back whenever.
Thank you. It was
I
so
love it.
fun. Thank you.
Remember, we have our Wine Talks podcast on Facebook, and then our email is...
winetalkspodcast@gmail.com.
And then also follow, subscribe, comment on YouTube, and we'll see you guys
Share
again.
with your friends.
Yeah, share with your friends, and we'll see you guys again next week.
Okay.
Bye.